Alright, TvZ, let's do it. Okay, so Shakura's Plateau. It's a pretty cool TvZ map. I'll go over the build as we do it. This first game doesn't go standard. He actually does roach pressure. So I'm just going to show you how to stop it with this build. I'll go over the build up until I have to deviate it because he's going for early roaches. So, yeah. Let's get started here. It's going to be Reactor Hellion expansion. It's probably the most safe build you can do against Zerg, and also one of the best ones. You see it done pretty much at every level of play, all the way up to huge tournaments like the GSL and MLG and all that stuff. So it's an excellent build, and it can be modified to accomplish a lot of different things. Like you can go for a really quick third command center, or you can go for really fast siege tanks, or you can not even get tanks at all and just go like blue flame marine, which is pretty fun. I like to do that a lot. But we're going to be playing a really standard style where we delay tanks a bit and we get out a big marine force. So that's going to be the goal. You want to gas on 13, just like normal. And so with this big marine force, we're going to be able to apply pressure at around the 10-minute mark. And what's good about this is that this is the time that he's going to be wanting to have his third, like, either established already, or he wants to start getting it making. And it can also be the time for 2-base Mutalisk tech. So if you have a large marine force that's applying pressure to him, the mutas are actually going to have to ignore harassing you, and they're actually going to have to come back to defend, because you have the potential to just kill him. So as you can see right here, I get marines. You get 2 marines with this build, and then you get a reactor. And when you wall off with this second depot, that SCV that's making it is going to build the factory right after the depot's done. That's just how the timing works pretty well for that. As you can see, I'm just getting like 150 minerals and 100 gas, and then the factory goes down. So I scout with my SCV, and I send this maybe like when the Rax is half done or something. It doesn't really matter. And I noticed that he's getting over 100 gas. If you click on the refinery, you can see how much gas there is. And there's the Roach Warren. So it looks like it's going to be 1 base roach pressure. He pulls off all his drones to try to kill my SCV. And I give a little face there. So I bring the SCV back home. I'm of course going to expand in base because he's doing the roach pressure. If I see hatch first, I will always put my command center down on the low ground in the natural. If I see anything else like pool first, like a speedling opening or something like that, then I'll build it in base because it's safer. So I'm just really calm right now. I'm basically not altering my build except for this bunker. And I'm going to end up getting the 2 Hellions and making a tech lab with this barracks. And what the tech lab is going to do is allow me to get stim and marauders. And my 2 marines there are just on the side, just in case any overlord comes in to see what I'm doing. It doesn't really matter though. Notice I have the watchtower with my scouting SCV in the middle, so I'll know when his roaches are coming. And see right here, they're coming. So I send the SCV to his base actually, like to bypass him. And I also send these Hellions along the bottom of the middle of the map to go around the roaches completely. And this is because I know I can hold this off. 1 marauder and 2 marines in a bunker with SCVs repairing it can hold off tons and tons and tons of roaches with the proper control, as long as you don't screw anything up. So these Hellions are basically free to go into his base and try to snipe some drones, which is what I end up doing. As you can see, he's still making roaches and streaming them to my base. So I come in here, and he's gonna have to do something about that because he can't just let Hellions kill his drones all day. So there's a queen there, which actually does a good job against Hellions. And you want to press A and then click the drones. Don't right click anything when you attack it. If you guys ever right click anything to attack it, I want you guys to stop that immediately and never do it again, ever. You always want to press A and then left click on what you're attacking. And I can explain why that is in more detail, but right now I'm just going to leave it at that for this video. So as you can see, like, these Hellions are giving him a ton of trouble because he droned after those Roaches, so all those drones weren't units, so this Hellion's still giving him a bit of trouble. But there, the Queen finally cleans it up. And I'm just making constant Marauders and Hellions. My minerals are getting kind of high, so I just throw down 3 barracks, and then he starts BMing me because he's bad. So, as you can see, I was just running around his base. So I know there's no way that he has mutas on the way within like the next 4 minutes or something like that. So I'm completely safe to just move out with Marauder Hellion. Marauder Hellion is an amazing composition against Zerg Hatch Tech. Against basically everything Zerg Hatch Tech. So basically right now, I don't want you to look at what I'm doing in my main base because I'm just sort of spending money because I got altered, my build got altered from the Roaches. It's not really anything you guys should want to be copying. This game is over already. The only thing that I want you to take away from this is that you just bunker and then you can send Hellions around Roaches to do some damage if they're that early. So, yeah. Pretty short, straightforward game. I hope you guys like that one, and we're going to get into game number 2 here pretty quick. So as you can see, he's in bronze. My opponent's going to get a lot better pretty fast. So let's go into game 2. Alright, game 2, let's do this. So, yep, same map. I don't know why I do this, like, to show you it's Zerg. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but it just makes me look kind of goofy. So, yeah, we're just going to be doing the same opening, and I completely forget what happens this game, so I will be commentating over it as I find out, or as I remember the game by watching it. So, yep, the build is designed to get out a lot of Marines, and then with your Hellions that you built early on, and the first 2 medevacs that come after you swap the starport onto a reactor, you're going to do a little push, and you really want to keep units alive. This style of TvZ that I play is all about pressuring the Zerg and denying him what he wants to do. It's not about doing damage. You do damage by pressuring him, but you never really have to directly attack him. So don't feel like you have to do damage or you'll be behind. This build and just the way it plays out gets you ahead automatically if you do it correctly and you save your units. So getting ahead in the game will just come if you do it correctly. Alright, so gas on 13, just like normal. This guy says good luck, have fun. And then yeah, there's not really much to talk about now. So I'm gonna try to get this video out tonight because I just posted on Reddit and Team Liquid. So I hope you guys enjoyed the TVP one, and this one I hope I do an even better job on. So as you can see, the Overlord comes into my base, so I know which position he's in. I know he is close air positions. And I'm thinking about how to kill this Overlord, or if I even can. So I think about rallying it inside my base to try and kill it, but obviously he would have escaped because Overlords aren't that slow. No, they're pretty slow, but he would have escaped. So I send it to the low ground to see if I can catch the Overlord as it's going away. So we'll see if I can. And yeah, so he sent it in a kind of dumb place. He should have sent it down past the destructible rocks, but he sent it basically right over open ground. So I just get a free Overlord kill. I want you guys to always be looking for Overlord kills, so especially with this build. With your first 2 Marines, they're not that important to keep alive in the big picture of things. They might be if he does some kind of Roach all-in or something, but if he plays standard at all, then these 2 Marines can definitely go out on the map and just search for Overlords in random places. Now I take a bit of a risk here. I don't really want you guys to do this, but I place my my command center at the natural. Like if he was doing the same Roach all-in that that guy did last game, then I don't know, I would have to lift it and I might lose a few SCVs. But you'll see that it turns out to be okay in this game. So you swap the factory onto the reactor, and then you lift the barracks and get a tech lab with it. And then you build a depot before you start the Hellions with the SCV that just finished the factory. And then once you land it on, you get 200 minerals, then you can build your Hellions.
Add-on complete.
So I sent my Hellions out. I know which position he's in because I saw the Overlord, and I start stim. Now I don't use my barracks to build any units right now. All it's doing is getting stim, and that's the reason for this is that I'm saving my money to get my infrastructure up first, and then you'll see I start getting units with like 4 Marines at a time. So his scouting links came out a little bit late because of the Overlord that I killed, so I was just able to clean those up really easily with the Hellions. After 4 Hellions, you want to be placing these 2 barracks like I did there, exactly like that, because one of them is going to swap onto the factory's reactor, and then one of them is going to have a new reactor built for it by the factory. After those 2 barracks, you get your orbital command, as I did at the natural, and then you can start 2 more Hellions. And as you can see, he's making a bunch of links, and there's a Roach. So it's probably a defensive Roach because he's scared of the Hellions, because it didn't come out that early. But just in case I'm making a bunker, I just always make a bunker against Roaches because they have the potential to do some Roach Baneling all-in shenanigans. So it's just nice to have that. So those last 2 Hellions are out, so I have a total of 6 now. And I float my factory down and make a reactor there for the 3rd barracks, while this barracks on top is going to take that reactor that's just opened up. And I started a Marauder when I see the Roaches too. I go ahead and put an eBay at the wall. The wall is an excellent place for buildings like eBay and Armory, because if he's going to bust you, he's going to target the depots because they're weaker. And at the wall is usually really close to where your units are, so Mutalisks are going to be unable to harass those structures. After the eBay goes down, I start my second gas. That's just the timing that this build gets the gas at. And then when this factory is done making the reactor, I go ahead and lift it and make a new reactor, and then I swap this 3rd barracks onto there, and then I make a starport, which is going to take the reactor that the factory is making now. Meanwhile, my Hellions, if you notice, I just keep going back to them occasionally and going outside his base. Basically, you do not ever want to lose these Hellions, ever. Like, don't suicide them in, even if you can kill 4 drones, like for losing 2 Hellions, even though that may seem good. Even if you can kill like 4 drones for losing 1 Hellion, I don't care. I want you to keep him alive. Keep him outside and make sure he's not spreading creep. So I send one in. Hopefully his units were back and I could have had it live, but he had a lot of Roaches there, so that was good information actually, that he had that many Roaches.
Add-on complete.
So when the factory and reactor's done, I go ahead and swap those, and then I get a tech lab with the factory, and finally I can start siege and tanks after that's done. There's no need to get turrets yet because of how many Roaches he's making, so that's gas that's not going into Mutalisks. And from this point, you see I'm just building constant Marines, and when the 2 medevacs come out, I'm going to have a pretty nice force. When you add together with the Hellions, those take care of Lings really fast, and the other ones take care of, I don't know, it's just a lot of damage output. And you basically need Banelings to stop this, and because your Hellions have been denying the creep so well, he's not going to be able to take a 3rd because his whole outside is natural, doesn't have creep, and Banelings without speed are horrible off creep. So as you can see, I threw down my 3rd as I push out. I throw it in base, so I'm going to float it down to the cliff. I'm into the bottom of the cliff. I go check if he's got a third up here, and he's not building a third. And I have the watchtower, so he's not. I know he's not taking the pocket third. So I'm keeping him on 2 base right now. Right now is the position I want you guys to try to get into every game. And you can do pushes like this against roaches because your medevacs with the healing are so strong. And basically, if he doesn't have banelings, you can pressure him and you can attack. Now, I've been rallying units to my natural, and with your next medevac that comes out, I want you to start dropping. And just every medevac that comes out, you just send it. You just send it. You queue up and you send it around the map. You send it to where he might be taking a third, like let's say the top left base. Just drop there, and just forget about him. And then every once in a while, just check where your drops are, make sure they're active, and then you're good. So as you can see here, without banelings or anything, he actually researched burrow. I'm not sure why, but so this drop in the main is going to give him a hard time as well, because he has this force that is natural to deal with, and he has this force in the main killing his drones, and meanwhile I'm just throwing down more barracks, as you can see in my production there. There's just too much for him. My third is up, so he has to leave. Alright, that's game 2. We're going to get into some more standard games where the opponents are more competent in a bit here, so look forward to that. That'll be, I think, the first standard game I'll make part 2. And they were longer too, so I might do like 3 games or 4 games and then 2 games at the end. We'll see. Alright, game 3, let's do this. So, this is Tal'Darim Altar, and what I really like about this build on Tal'Darim Altar is that the amount of Marines that you get and the faster medevacs and the slower tanks is the biggest one. Gives you much more mobility to move around the map and to harass different positions, and also to defend yourself from the Zerg. So it's really good on this map. You'll see why. So here in the last game, I tried to assign something to my 0 hotkey, which I rebind to tilde, or tilde, the tilde key, which is to the left of 1. It's that little squiggle thing. So what I did really quickly there is I rebound my control group 0 to control tilde, and I would recommend you guys do that too, because if you don't ever use 0, the tilde is a really nice key to use because it's right next to 1, which is a key that probably most of you use all the time. And you can put things like drops on there, or maybe if you need an extra army hotkey, you can put like special units like ghosts on there or something like that. So it's just something to think about. You can use it if you want to.
Additional supply depots required.
So the build is going to be exactly the same as you saw last game.
Not enough minerals.
And I'm probably going to throw my command center down in the natural, just because on this map, like, I'm pretty much going to assume that a Zerg isn't going to do some kind of roach pressure, just because the map is so huge, especially if we're cross positions. As you go up in the leagues, you're going to find that Zergs will always do something like hatch first against you. They'll always go hatch first against Terran, because that's the only thing you can do, really. All the other options are pretty bad. So, I mean, in the lower leagues, you'll probably find that that's not the case. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to always throw down your command center in base, that's fine. Just remember to lift it over before you get too saturated in your main. Like, I like to do it just after I mule, and then I lift it immediately. And you can bunker your natural if you're scared of stuff. Bunkers are really nice. You can sell them, and you only lose 25 bucks, and it's just really good. So I sent my scouting SCV to the bottom right.
Complete.
He's not there. Normally, I would just scout their naturals because they always go hatch first, but at this level of play, I need to scout their main to see if there's creep there before. So I send my marine to that watchtower, and I see at the bottom there he's cross positioned, so I'm not going to send my marines to his natural. And he did go hatch first, so I'm going to end up throwing my command center down in the natural. I see his spawning pool's done, but he has no gas. This 100% means that he's not going for any roaches early, and he probably isn't going for a baneling bust, although there's gas timings that would let him do like a 2-base really strong Baneling bust, but we'll worry about that later. You'll be able to scout that with Hellions because your Hellions will be outside his base. Okay, so that depot goes down after the factory's done, and then you swap the factory onto the reactor.
Add-on complete. Our SCVs are under attack.
That poor SCV is getting chased. He's gonna die, I think. Oh wait, no, I save him. Yes, I save him this game. I remember that.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Yeah, he makes it home. Lucky guy. Okay, so there's the 4 Hellions. Queued up my 3rd and 4th. Now I'm gonna be saving money for my barracks that are gonna go down here. The 2nd and 3rd barracks.
By the numbers, boys.
Stim goes down before those, though, of course. You want to get Stim started as soon as possible. And the reasoning behind that is that once Stim is done, you're going to start Combat Shield. And once Combat Shield is done, that's exactly the time that you're going to be pushing out. So you're going to have a really strong force here. Oftentimes, if you get your eBay at the right time, you will be attacking with a ton of Marines, 6 Hellions, 2 Medevacs, and +1 with Combat Shield and Stim. So it's really, really powerful if they're not prepared for it. And a lot of times, if they don't know how to react to it, you can just kill them straight up. So these Hellions are going to be to deny creep as best I can. And as you can see, it's got 3 queens but no spines. I really want to keep my Hellions at higher health because he's probably getting a lot of Zerglings or some kind of units if he's not building spine crawlers. Although there are certain strategies where you get like four queens or even more, and you hold off the Hellions that way instead of doing spine crawlers. So we'll just keep an eye out for that. So here's my last 2 Hellions, and I get that reactor there, and then put the barracks onto this reactor. I start 4 Marines at a time. The eBay again, I put at my wall. And then every depot that I build now is going to go into the wall, and we're going to finish the wall eventually. Remember, my Hellions are outside his base, so I'm not worried about like spending all my minerals to just get the wall down as fast as I can because I'm scared of stuff. No. Whatever he's doing, I'm going to know because I'm patrolling outside his base with Hellions, so I can relax and macro at home perfectly fine.
Big job, huh?
So I keep going back down there to the bottom rocks to see if he's started to break him down yet. And the same thing again, you get another reactor in a starport, and you're going to give that reactor to the barracks. Start Combat Shield Sim just finished. And now that the starport started, that's the timing to get your 3rd gas. So I see he's gone double Evo chamber. That's a really good indicator of infestor tech at the higher levels because they usually get a lot of Zerglings and upgrades fast. At this level of play, though, I have no clue what he's doing. It could mean anything. So I'm breaking down the rocks with my guys before the medevacs are out. And this is because as I'm pushing out with my big force, I'm going to be wanting to take a 3rd base. So with the rocks already gone, I can just easily float the base over and morph it into a planetary fortress. Which, a planetary fortress, if you're like high masters, is not the best idea because you want to be building orbitals to get ahead. But at this level, I want you guys to be building planetaries just because they're really good, and you don't have to like spend any energy defending them. So as you can see there, that's a ton of lings, really. You don't want to ever shoot at lings with Hellions on creep. You always want to run, just move all the way off the creep, and then you can engage. Hellions can engage Zerglings off creep, but not on creep. That's just the way it is. So my medevacs now are out, and I bring them down with my Marines. I re-rally everything to my wall. I don't stream guys across the map. And this is why, if he does a counterattack, you need to be ready. So I bring some SCVs off here to repair. I just repair them all. I stim those Marines, and I brought my guys back because that's a good opportunity for me to kill his army. So it looks like he was doing some kind of Baneling aggression, which came super late. So I can just walk up to the morphing Banelings and kill them off. Send my SCVs back to mine, and now I can bring all these guys and take my third. And now, because he just used all that stuff, I have a really good opportunity here to deny him a third base. First of all, if he doesn't have a third up because he's scared and making units, then good, then I can keep him off a third. And if he does have a third up, he probably won't have units because he just spent all that money and I basically killed it for free. So here I just, like I was talking about, I send my medvac. I just send it when it comes out. I fill it with Marines and send it. And I use shift and I move command around the side of the map, and then I Q drop it in his main. So as you can see here, there's some banelings, and you're gonna want to stim and make him lose units like this. Move back if the banelings are coming, and you can do little splits like this if you want. And I actually split pretty poorly there, but it was okay. Basically, for splitting, you want to watch where the banelings are going, and then make a small box and just box the units that the banelings are heading towards, and only those units should be moving. All your other units should be firing. I feel like a lot of people, when they see or when they think about ideal splitting, they think of like all these Marines going in different directions and no Marines are touching each other, so to minimize the splash damage. Like if you imagine what the perfect split ever would be that no human could do, you imagine like all the Marines immediately going away from each other, but actually that's completely wrong. That's gonna hurt you a lot more. So this drop kills the spire. I dropped it in the main and I just targeted the spire and then left when the spire was gone, and I'm just gonna have it out there on the left side ready to apply pressure. So let me talk more about splitting. The reason that this would be wrong if you have all your Marines like not touching each other is because the point of splitting is not to have Marines ever get hit by banelings, period. You want to be killing banelings. Like, imagine if you had like 10 Marines and one baneling runs toward you. Your Marines shoot at it. Your Marines shoot at it until it dies and it explodes and does nothing. Now, if you were trying to like, if your ideal way of splitting was to have no Marine touching each other, then you would move 9 Marines away from 1 Marine and let 1 Marine take the hit. And I just use this extreme example. I want you to like think of it in these terms and look at the outcomes. In the first outcome, your 10 Marines just shot the baneling and killed it. You took no damage. In the second outcome, the baneling exploded on your Marine and you took a bit of damage. So which one's better? You want to kill banelings. You don't want to do anything else, really. So I moved in here and I was bad and didn't siege up or something, but I do okay splits there for how much reaction time I had. That was a bad move by me. I should have not gone in so fast. But anyway, you want to move Marines away that the banelings are going toward only. All your other Marines should be shooting at them, and if the banelings change direction, then the Marines that you were moving previously should be stopping, and they should be shooting now. And I don't know, I may make it like another video on it or something, but right here I A-click banelings to target them, and then my medvacs can heal me as I kill the Zerglings. And my siege tank, if you saw before there, I target fired it on the banelings, and it did a ton of damage. Now I want you to just notice how this build felt to watch. Like, was I ever under any pressure in my main? Did the Mutalisks ever even get there? Did he even make Mutalisks? I don't know. But by bringing the battle to him, and you see he was a platinum player, so by bringing the battle all the way to his base, you're free to take a third, a fourth, anything. You can just do whatever you want and max out, and then just deny him bases, and it feels excellent. So let's go into the next game here. Actually, this is going to be the end of part 1. Let's go into part 2. Thanks for watching this, guys, and I'll see you soon.